What's going on, guys? This is Aaron from Departures Capital, and we're here with Danny Hugh, Corporate Development Manager of Neo Battery Materials. It's a pleasure to have you back on, Danny. How are you doing today?
Good. How are you?
Good, good. So for the benefit of those who are new to the company, could you give us a brief introduction to Neo Battery Materials, and tell us what the company is developing within the EV battery industry?
For sure. So, Neo Battery Materials, we're currently developing a novel technology called silicon anode materials. And as many may know, graphite is used as the main anode material for all lithium ion batteries today in electric vehicles and even in your smartphones. But graphite is actually the main source of the technical problems that we see in the industry today, such as slow charging, limited runtime, and increasing costs of the overall battery. Therefore, industry experts are looking to integrate silicon into the anode material with graphite. And silicon is recognized to be a catch-all solution because it can enable longer EV driving range, ultra-fast charging, which directly leads to battery cost reductions. But what sets apart Neo from our competitors is our proprietary single-step nanocoating manufacturing process, and our products that use one of the lowest cost silicon inputs in the industry. And we're confident to say that this makes us one of the lowest cost producers of silicon anode materials on the global scale. With the management team from high-profile battery companies such as LG, Samsung, we've established over 50 relationships with global battery and EV manufacturers, financial institutions, and chemical material companies. We have a clear roadmap to commercialization, and we're expediting this process through our South Korean commercial plant, which will be capable of producing 240 tons per year, which will supply to about 160,000 EVs initially. And we're also ongoing active material testing and agile optimization.
So given the news from last week, can you provide us an explanation to the viewers about the technology milestone and its significance for the company?
Yeah, so on Tuesday last week, we have announced a key technology milestone for Neo's one-step nanocoating manufacturing process. So what we have done is that we have achieved a consistent, uniform nanocoating capability of the silicon particles during manufacturing. And I think viewers might start to question what's so great about this, but uniformly coating silicon is especially important to our technology because our technology is highly determinant on how well the silicon is coated, because this determines the EV driving range as well as the ultra-fast charging capability. And more to this, uniformly coating materials on the nanoscale is extremely difficult for any company of any size. And especially for Neo, it was more difficult because silicon is very pointy and rigid in terms of its shape instead of round and spherical. But because we have overcome this difficulty, we've amassed great interest and attention from third-party industry experts as well as companies. And just to go more in depth, silicon has a huge volume expansion of 300% compared to its original size when we start charging our electronic devices and our EVs. And because of this expansion, unprocessed raw silicon breaks down very fast, and we can't just simply use it on the commercial level. However, what Neo does is that we encase or nanocoat the silicon with strong materials to resolve this expansion issue. We have already achieved good capacity and ultra-fast charging, but previously, the non-uniform and inconsistent coatings often resulted in poor performance due to the breakdown from this expansion. But with this new manufacturing breakthrough, Neo can uniformly coat the materials around any kinds of shape of silicon. So what this means is that we can substantially enhance the capacity retention, improve charging speeds, and enable coating thickness control, which are all game-changing in the silicon anode space.
Oh, that sounds great. So, do any major alterations to the manufacturing process need to be made in order to achieve the new uniform coating capability?
The short answer is no. There is an additional solution process for the uniform coating capability, but we don't modify the fundamental process or equipment being used. What we are doing different is that we use new process conditions, solution formulations, and additive substances to enable this capability. This effectively means that there are no cost shifting or cost increasing material changes to the current manufacturing process, and we can ensure that there will be no delays or encumbrances to our commercialization timeline. So simply put, we have just optimized our systems, formulations, and materials, and the uniform coding capability is an additional advantage that we have attained in which we can use as a unique value proposition when we're presenting to battery manufacturers and EV automakers.
So you mentioned in the news that NIO could potentially provide silicone anodes that are 70% less expensive than those offered by current competitors. Can you elaborate on how the optimized one-step process enables this cost reduction?
Yes, so we are certain that NIO is developing one of the most difficult yet transformative manufacturing technologies in the industry. You may also assume, but making processes simple and energy efficient are always a significant engineering challenge. In an ideal world, we will want low costs and simple processes, but that's just not the case for the world we live in. For sure, pursuing popular and available silicon anode options would be much easier, but the industry requires differentiation so that silicon anodes can be provided at lowered costs while their performance is improved. But at NIO Battery Materials, we are just doing that. And currently, silicon is very expensive. It's still about 8 times pricier than graphite. So silicon anodes are only put in a very high-end EV makes and models or limited amounts in lower-end models. So at NIO, we take a completely different approach to manufacturing because we use a simple and almost mechanical process to nanocoat the silicon with robust materials. Currently, many in the industry implement high-cost engineering systems, and although formidable performance results can be realized with these systems, the costs are just too high for mass implementation, as I've just explained. Also, to one-up the industry, NIO uses one of the most cheap, widely used silicon input feedstocks for industrial purposes, and this is called metal silicon. This type of silicon is 10 times cheaper compared to what competitors use or what silicon is used for the semiconductor as well as the solar cell industry. So we can realize another area of cost savings. So when NIO combines the simple low-cost manufacturing process with the low-cost inputs, these are the two substantial value propositions that will allow us to supply silicon anodes that are 70% cheaper than current market options.
Oh, that sounds really good. So recently, Dr. S.G. Kim has been appointed as Chief Technology Officer of NIO. Could you give us an introduction to Dr. Kim and explain how much of an important role he will play?
Yes, so recently, NIO has appointed Dr. S.G. Kim as our CTO. He's an expert in chemical technology development and products related to NIO, which include silicon and the polymer nanocoating materials. Previously, he has served as the Executive Vice President and Head of R&D of Hano Solutions in the Advanced Materials Division. So Hano Solutions is actually a chemical manufacturing company of the South Korean conglomerate Hanwha Group. Hano Solutions have been able to generate sales of over $10 billion USD and currently trades at a market cap of about $8 billion. Dr. Kim has had experience from new chemical product development to commercial plant construction. And during his tenure at Hanwha, he has shown his capacity to nearly double new product sales and successfully completed numerous projects for global automotive, aerospace, and electronics companies. He has also experienced closing M&A deals that sort of boost further inorganic growth. Dr. Kim has also served as the global R&D head of Momentive Performance Materials, which is the globally second largest manufacturer of silicon-based products. And his other previous experiences include the Dow Chemical Company, LG Innotek, as well as Samsung Fine Chemicals. And he's received his PhD in chemical engineering and applied chemistry from the University of Toronto. That being said, we are more than excited to have Dr. Kim join us in our commercialization journey. And based on his decades of R&D experience, he understands the potential of NIO silicon anodes and how our products can produce a transforming effect on the industry once we are commercialized. And to get that transforming effect, Dr. Kim has already started working with NEO's R&D team to accelerate efforts with product optimization so that we can continue to make deals on the table with global players. And also using Dr. Kim's super extensive network in the chemical business and R&D space, NEO is set to look out on other value enhancing and growth opportunities as well.
So in summary, what kind of news can investors expect to receive in the near future regarding advancements in the company's business and technology?
Yeah, so as we have discussed today, NEO Battery Materials is making significant advancements in both technology, business developments, and R&D. We have commercialization on track for the first half of 2024. As announced, our team completed the request for quote or RFQ process and received construction quotes from contractors. And the next stage will be negotiating with each party and selecting the best contractor for the project. And once the negotiations are completed, we can expect the initial construction phase to commence. So in terms of R&D, we are establishing more relationships by the day with battery cell and material manufacturers, EV automakers, and various battery industry companies. These players have been especially impressed by our unique approach to manufacturing and the low-cost characteristics. Active material evaluation between parties have allowed such technology milestones to happen, and we are more than excited and confident to establish meaningful contracts between these firms. And also, as we settle into Ontario and as well as the US, we'll start to advance our projects here in North America, and we're aiming to target non-dilutive funding as a substantial source of funding for these projects. So we hope to bring positive news and developments very soon, and we also hope everyone is excited for NEO's commercialization journey.
That sounds great, Danny. Well, I look forward to covering your story. I know, we've made many videos on NEO and we will be in the future as well. So I look forward to having you back on. Best of luck with everything in the meantime.
Thank you, Aaron.
If you like these videos, kindly hit that subscribe button and the bell for notifications. Drop us a comment down below. We'd love to hear from you. And finally, always remember Departures Capital is for information, education, and entertainment purposes only. Don't buy or sell a stock because you heard it on here. Buy or sell a stock because you've done your research, you've done your thorough due diligence, and you're making your own personal investment decisions for yourself. This video is not financial advice. Furthermore, this video may or may not have been sponsored by the companies that we've profiled within this video, and we may or may not own shares of any of the profiled companies in this video. If you want to know the full disclosure details, check the description down below along with thoroughly reading our disclaimer. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I look forward to seeing you in our next video.